Mazda MX-30. Well, I have to admit it left me with a mixed feelings. I mean, 34,000 euros for 200 kilometers of range of a steady driving. Well, it does have a good side that this range doesn't change even on a day like today when degrees are quite below zero. But then again, it is an SUV, which means higher car, less aerodynamic, so I'm asking myself, what were the Japanese thinking? But hey, before you run to a competition like Nissan Leafs or perhaps a Renault Zoe, wait what Victor has to say, and he will start with the exterior.
Yeah, well, of course Mazda has decided on a crossover, because that and SUVs are pretty much the only thing that sells these days. Or they might have complained that there wasn't enough space in the 3 for the batteries. It almost looks like a lifted Dodge Charger at the front, which includes cooling vents. The rear perhaps reminds me of an Audi Q3 Sportback, which is no coincidence as these types and shapes of vehicles are quite popular lately. What's maybe even more intriguing is the fact that Mazda took the concept of the rear-hinged rear doors and actually implemented them. Even the Porsche Taycan lost that in the production model. They're not that bad of a choice with this car, as it's relatively short and lacks the space for a hassle-free entry to the rear seats. As an added bonus, kids won't be able to open the rear doors just like that. Because of the car's short range, you'll always be connected.
Would you like to know how long it takes to charge these batteries at quick 50 kilowatts charger? Well, we started at 10:38 and I had 39% of batteries, and we'll see what happens now. Now at Mazda they claim to charge to up to 80% battery will go very quickly. For the rest 10% or 20% actually to be precise, it needs a little longer, but that's normal with the lithium batteries. So let's see what happens, and this system, it's a bit different than the Nissan Leafs or the Zoe. Victor?
Both this Mazda as well as Audi, for example, use a heat pump for heating and cooling of the battery pack. This means they'll be more or less at the optimal temperature, no matter the outside conditions or load. In everyday use, this translates to a more consistent range over the seasons. Nissan Leaf and Renault Zoe don't incorporate this. If you're taking the MX-30 on a highway, the range will halve, yes, but the computer correctly indicates this, likely due to thermal management. This, in turn, also means less wear and tear on the battery pack over the years. The other advantage is that despite Mazda's noticeably lower battery capacity, it still has reasonable range because of its lower weight, so less expensive to run.
If you take a quick look at the dashboard, you can see it's very like Mazda 3. Well, I do have a tiny con here because the instruments are not totally digitalized, but they decided the way they decided. Now, if you take a look at the infotainment system, here is something for your competition Volkswagen. Take a look at it. It's nicely designed. It's very easily to operate by using this rotating button. It's safe, it's very simply to go through the menus. So guys at Volkswagen, why the hell did you throw this out of Audi?
But modern times have come to Mazda as well. The climate controls now have their own touchscreen, but they retain the physical buttons. You can thus use either the buttons or the actual screen, which is quite big and uncluttered with info. On one hand, you might think it's too big for what it does. On the other, it's quite easy to use and doesn't require 100 sub-menus just to turn on the air conditioning or fan speed. You listening, Volkswagen?
So I am now waiting 20 minutes here and the battery has achieved 47%. So meaning if you want to recharge the battery, that will take you at least an hour, and you can just pray there is no one that you will have to wait to refill his car first. So if you have a chance, try to fill the batteries at home, or perhaps, if it's possibility, do it while you are at work or going shopping. Now, if you're considering that you need to wait that long, and since we are in the middle of Corona crisis, you can't even go for a coffee. Oh my God, I would need to take a vacation to refill this car.
Compared to the Leaf, the car feels far sportier because of its stiffer suspension, but still comfortable. It actually feels stiffer than Mazda 3. An interesting choice they made is the acceleration. It's not nearly as brutal as its competitors, needing almost 10 seconds to 100. They wanted more range with a smaller battery. Otherwise, it feels quite premium inside, encroaching upon the Audi models, which also means good sound dampening. You feel like you're driving in a luxury car, not an electric washing machine. The MX-30 is technologically ahead of Nissan, although it has a lower range. The battery pack should be more durable, the car feels luxurious, and style-wise, it's what people buy. I do recommend test driving it first though.